Someone's in a really, really bad relationship, messy breakup, thought I was going to marry this person, it's not working out, and I now see it slipping away. Or, maybe even a divorce itself. Like, I can't see happiness after this, because the greatest happiness I think I experienced up until this point was when this was at a high, right? When this was going in a certain direction. And so now it's like you're taking away any notion or any possibility of happiness from me. Allah has created us not just with immense capacity of patience, but also the immense capacity to recover. Recovery is part of the sabr that Allah put inside of us, the possibility of recovery Allah put inside of us. It's actually remarkable. It's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He's given us that possibility to recover. Not to where we don't hurt when we remember certain things, not to where sometimes there isn't long trauma from certain things, but we do have the ability inside of us as a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to actually move on. But when you're in the midst of it, you don't really think that way, right? You know what's so beautiful about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? كان خلقه القرآن, right? He was a walking Quran. His character was the Quran. If inna ma'al usri yusra is not the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in Hijrah, being caught by Suraqa ibn Malik as a fugitive, right? About to be killed, possibly, on the run from his people to a people that he doesn't yet know really well, as a refugee to them. And him telling Suraqa, by the way, how will it be, O Suraqa, when you are carrying the gold bracelets of Kisra, the most powerful ruler in the world, in your hands? If that's not inna ma'al usri yusra, I don't know what is. That's literally, and the Prophet ﷺ is the one who's in the deepest usr in this moment. He almost just died. SubhanAllah, like, we talk about now the effects of remembering things and the effects of trauma afterwards. He and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu were in the cave. And they were right there. These people that wanted to do horrible things to them were right there. And the Prophet ﷺ, of course, tells him, how is it, O Abu Bakr, with two people, and the third is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the one affirming Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And he's telling Suraqa, how will it be when you are carrying the bracelets of the most powerful man in the world, the most powerful ruler in the world? That is prophetic vision beyond the moment. Khandaq, that is the greatest hardship that you experience as a people. You're fighting for your existence as a community against the people that want to wipe you off the face of the earth. And in the darkest times, in the ditch, you see the light of Islam spread throughout the world. Inna ma'al usri yusra. It's going to come out of this. Something is going to come out of this. So when you're in usr, you're overwhelmed. Your senses are gone. You're overwhelmed by the difficulty. And when was this surah revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, by the way? Was it revealed to the Prophet ﷺ as a victory lap? Was this after Badr that this was revealed? When is this revealed to the Prophet ﷺ? When there is no yusr in sight. That's when it's revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. Right? This is revealed in Mecca, when there is no rational pathway out of this. You couldn't sit with the Prophet ﷺ in those moments if we were limited to the rational and say to the Prophet ﷺ or say to other companions, look, here's how this is going to go. We have a plan. All right? Abyssinia is going to open up for us. The ruler of Abyssinia, the one ruler that will take us in, will thwart a rebellion, and he'll provide some ships just in case to eventually get to Medina. And this other place is going to open its doors to us, and you're going to have a people that love us more than they love themselves, that will jeopardize all of their alliances to establish a civilization in accordance with this message, that we have wealth coming from this direction, or we have help coming from this external empire. There is no rational pathway in the moment that this is revealed to the Prophet ﷺ and the companions. The Quran was not just for the Prophet ﷺ, right? There's nothing, you can't rationalize a pathway out. Look what Allah Azza wa Jalla did. Again, in the midst of it, it's hard to see. But they did not place their trust in the ability to see the rational pathway out. They placed their trust in the one who sees what they don't see. That was the point. What does Allah Azza wa Jalla say at the end of this? Inna ma'al usri yusra, inna ma'al usri yusra. I haven't started to break down some of the concepts yet. But what does Allah say at the end of this? فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب. Now get back to worship. Focus on your worship. Keep paying attention. Next, move on to the next cause of worship. Move on to the next course of action to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who's not going to be limited by these things. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does. Puts him back on track. Stay focused. That's the call to action at the end of this. Stay focused, stay engaged in worship. Not look for the next sign. Stay engaged in worship. It will come to you. Inna ma'al usri yusra. Verily, with every difficulty comes ease. Verily, with every difficulty comes ease. So the scholar said, when it comes to the test, the blessings that are unlocked after the test in this life and the next are multiple. You know, if you're actually taking an exam, most of you being students, I presume you can understand this when you're actually taking the test, right? To get this particular degree, what the degree will unlock for you in terms of career and in terms of potential and profession, right, are multiple doors. Whereas the test is limited to a time, a moment. You have to pass this particular test. And so when trials come to us in this life, look, you've got to get through this moment. But what will come after it is multiple. Multiple in what sense? Multiple in that the blessing might come to you in this life and or the next, but certainly in the next if you are patient. You'll certainly be rewarded for your trial in the next, no matter what, so long as you are patient. And you also may see some of that ease come in this life as well. Now, as we said, there is yusr in the plural, ease is in the plural, usr is in the singular, right? I want you to remember that next time you're reading this, okay? As great as your usr is, the yusr will always be greater.